$200. That's what Dylan's cart rang up to a checkout last Tuesday. He didn't pay it, not all at once anyway. He tapped Pay in 4. $50 today, 3 more payments over 6 weeks. The app says 0 interest. Feels like nothing. But here's what doesn't make it onto the receipt. By the time his second payment hits, the chicken from payment 1 is already gone. You can't uneat your way out of a loan. And he's not alone. Nearly 3 in 10 buy now, pay later users have used it for groceries now, up from just 14% 2 years ago. Missed payments have climbed 3 years straight. 34%, then 41%, now 47%. Missed payments aren't even the real story though. The real cost is what happens when you never miss a single one, and it's measured in decades. This video does 2 things. First, the arithmetic. What Dylan's $200 grocery split actually costs him if he runs it every month for the next 38 years. Second, the mechanics. Why this thing behaves nothing like the credit card it's quietly replacing. He doesn't think of it as debt. He thinks of it as handling it. That's the dangerous part. It doesn't feel like borrowing money. The number on the math side is $590,862. Let's prove both halves. BNPL, or Buy Now, Pay Later, splits a purchase into 4 equal payments over 6 weeks. Marketed as 0% interest, and for one transaction, that's usually true. No APR, no finance charge on the receipt. So where's the catch? Not in the transaction, in the architecture. A credit card is one account, one balance, one due date. You can see the whole picture from a single login. BNPL doesn't work that way. Every purchase opens its own little disconnected loan, with its own due date, invisible to every other plan already running. And there's a psychology trick layered underneath. Splitting a charge into 4 small numbers softens the discomfort your brain registers compared to seeing the full total at once. $200 becomes $50 today. The brain does the easy math, not the real one. Think about how Dylan actually shops. Groceries every 2 weeks. Each run feels small. Each split feels manageable. 3 months in, he's not managing one open plan. He's juggling 6, pulling from his account on 6 different dates, with no dashboard adding any of it up for him. That's not an accident. It's the design. Nearly a quarter of BNPL users are already carrying 3 or more active loans at once, and that's a real part of why missed payments keep climbing instead of leveling off. Now here's the part that should make you angry. The average BNPL user is carrying around $2,085 in outstanding balances right now, spread across plans most people couldn't name from memory if you asked. And it's not free money sitting around waiting to help you. Close to 6 in 10 users admit they've used BNPL to buy something they genuinely couldn't otherwise afford. More than half, 54%, say they couldn't make ends meet without it. For parents with kids under 18, that's 62%. Then there are the late fees. The federal government's own data puts the average BNPL late fee at just under $10. Small enough to skip the marketing slide, large enough across several plans to quietly stack on top of a product sold to you as free. That $200 never makes it into savings. It never compounds. It just pays off groceries Dylan already finished eating. Let's run the actual formula. Future value of an ordinary annuity. FV equals PMT times the quantity of 1 plus R raised to the power of n minus 1 divided by R. Our variables. PMT is $200, Dylan's monthly grocery split. R is 0.006667, 8% annual return, divided by 12. N is 456, 38 years of monthly contributions, age 22 to 60. Run that formula in full, and the future value comes out to $590,862. That's what $200 a month becomes if it's invested instead of intercepted, for 38 years at an 8% average return. That's Dylan's number. Now, the comparison people actually want to hear. Pay that same $200 a month on a credit card and pay the statement in full every cycle, and the math is identical. Same $590,000 in foregone growth either way. BNPL doesn't beat a credit card you pay off in full. They're the same number wearing different outfits. But that's not how most people running a grocery split actually use a card. Charge $200 in new groceries every month. Make only the minimum payment. At today's average rate near 22%, and that balance crosses $5,000 in about 2 years. It crosses $10,000 in under 5. That's not a retirement problem, that's a collections problem, and it shows up while you're still in your 20s. So here's the real comparison. Pay in full, BNPL or card, doesn't matter. You're down the same $590,000 in opportunity cost. Carry a balance instead, and the card piles real, compounding interest on top of that same cost and gets you into trouble years sooner. BNPL's 0% is the one part of the marketing that's actually true. What's not true is that 0% makes it free. This number isn't a fee. Nobody's charging Dylan $590,000. What it's costing him is opportunity, the compounded future of money that never got invested because it was busy paying off groceries he'd already eaten. There's a reason this product spreads as fast as it does. Checkout data shows people spend roughly 85% more per order when a BNPL option sits at checkout. That's not a side effect, that's the business model. The retailer sells more, the platform gets paid by the retailer, and the customer absorbs the compounding cost years later, quietly after everyone else already got paid. Two more asymmetries worth knowing. First, credit. Pay on time, and it usually doesn't build your score because most providers don't report on-time payments to the bureaus. 62% of users believe otherwise. Miss a payment though, and it can hurt you just like a credit card would. Heads they win, tails you lose. Second, protection. In 2024, the federal government said BNPL providers had to give you the same dispute and refund rights you already have on a credit card. In 2025, that rule got pulled, and there's still no federal replacement. You're using a credit product with fewer guardrails than the one it's replacing. If the math is landing for you, hit like, and if you want this every week, subscribe. We don't do feelings here, we do numbers. 3 steps, all executable this week. Step 1. Audit every open BNPL plan, right now. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, and the ones built directly into delivery and grocery checkout you might not even register as a loan. Count them, write the total monthly outflow on paper. There's no dashboard doing this for you. That's the whole problem. Step 2. Draw a hard line at consumables. BNPL for durable goods only. A mattress, a laptop, something that still exists when the last payment comes due. Groceries, gas, anything you'll finish before you finish paying for it. That gets paid at the register. Full stop. Step 3. Automate the redirect. Whatever you were sending toward BNPL payments, set up an automatic transfer of that same amount into a high-yield savings account or a low-cost index fund today. Once the money moves on its own, compound interest starts working for you instead of against you. Dylan hasn't made that switch yet, but he's thinking about it. And thinking about it is usually where this starts. Here's the summary. $200 a month in BNPL grocery payments equals 0 compounding, 0 growth, and $590,862 in foregone wealth over 38 years. That's not a small number. That's most of a retirement account, drained 2 weeks at a time, grocery run by grocery run. Buy now. Pay later isn't a worse credit card. It's a different product, built to feel invisible until the moment the bill compounds. It's designed to help the platform grow. It's not designed to help you build wealth. Know the difference. I'm not a financial advisor or tax professional. This video is for educational purposes only. Talk to a qualified CPA or financial professional before making decisions based on what you've seen here. The calculations shown are hypothetical illustrations based on assumed rates of return and are not guaranteed. Past performance does not predict future results.